This is a previously recorded episode of the ITintheD Show.
3, 2, 1.
Following program is intended for mature audiences.
This is Max Headroom, and what you're about to witness is one of the most sinister-sounding intros to a trailer to one of the greatest epics ever.
You're listening to the ITintheD Show.
Just where do you guys think you are?
The Library of Congress?
Detroit? Beyond the sun?
Any of those right?
Take him to Detroit. No! No, not Detroit! No! No, please! Anything but that! No!
I used to hang out at the Magumbo Bar. It was a rough place, the seediest dive on the wharf, populated with every reject and cutthroat from Bombay to Calcutta. It's worse than Detroit.
You will never find the more wretched hive of scum and villainy.
Then don't come! Shut up!
Dig, you IT geeks. This is Dre DeMatteo from Sons of Anarchy. You are listening to ITintheD.
So what happens when you tap the angry beaver in the bumhole?
Exactly. Come on. Someone tries. What the hell with this? I'm calling a break. We'll come back to the ITintheD Show.
Hi, this is Ralph Macchio, and you're listening to ITintheD Show. Wax on, you know what.
So you have no boots.
No.
You have no gloves.
No.
You have no hat.
No.
You have no scarf.
No.
You have no scraper.
No.
How long have you lived in Michigan?
All my life.
You, sir, are an idiot.
I don't care.
What's up, everybody? This is Billy Zapka. Sweep the leg. Listening to ITintheD Show. No mercy.
I may have to wipe the geek off.
Hi, this is Martin Cove, John Kreese from the Karate Kid movie, and you're listening to ITintheD.
Are we at a break yet?
Hi, I'm Ernie Hudson, and you're listening to ITintheD. All you nerds out there.
Nerds.
Nerds! What is a nerd?
I'm a nerd, and I'm pretty proud of it.
This is Scott Steiner, Big Pump Pump. The ITintheD Show is your hookup. Holler if you hear me.
You're in your underwear, I'm in my underwear. Here, let's hang out.
No, I'm sorry, honey. I have a headache.
I definitely want to see Bob in his underwear. That's a fact.
Hello, everybody. This is Ming Chen from AMC's Comic Book Man. I'm a techie. I'm a nerd, fellow podcaster. My favorite podcast is ITintheD.
I can't say no, and I don't really want to.
Well, especially with the back doors open.
It's just too big. It's way too big.
Really? Should we talk about this? Tag team it. Should I keep going or should I stop?
We just lost our clean tag on iTunes.
This is Robert Hayes, a tit striker to my mother. When I'm not hanging out at the Magumbo Bar, I'm listening to the ITintheD Show. It's worse than Detroit.
Is there such thing as a meat hangover?
I love my Monday meat steak.
Hey, folks, this is WWE Hall of Famer Hacksaw Jim Duggan, and you're listening to the ITintheD Show. Tough guy. Ho!
My name is Michael Zapsik from AMC's Comic Book Man. You're listening to ITintheD. Comics.
So, what would you little maniacs like to do first?
The question isn't what are we going to do. The question is what aren't we going to do.
Ludicrous speed! Sir, had you better buckle up? Buckle this! Ludicrous speed! Go! Welcome back. Thank you again for listening to the #1 ranked technology podcast on SoundCloud. This week. This is the ITintheD Show, episode 131, day after Valentine's Day edition, February 15th. This is Bob, the sales guy, here with Dave, the geek. Nuri is, God knows where Nuri is. Is he in Singapore, or is he, where is he these days? Nuri will
probably somewhere in Asia. Who knows?
Well, shout out to Nuri. He's not here today. But we have some other important guests. Find us online, ITintheD.com, and give us a like on the Facebook /ITintheD. Follow us on the Twitter. We are broadcasting live from Podcast Detroit. The app is out on iOS and Android. And do us a favor, if you're an iOS listener, and leave us an iTunes review. We got like 57 of them. The last one was actually pretty damn funny because it was good and it was bad, but we'll take all the criticism we can get. But do us a favor, leave us an iTunes review. We would greatly appreciate it. Mark your calendars. This Thursday, Thursday the 18th, we'll be at the Hamlin Corner in Royal Oak. Good old-fashioned networking social, no cover, no speakers, no idiots, no insurance salesmen,
no cover charge.
Nothing.
And laughably, and I love this because the timing is beautiful. The little widget that I have that bubbles up old posts.
What's a widget?
Bubbled up the pimple today about those jackwads who are still around and lovably, actually not lovably, it makes me want to throat punch all of them. I've encountered not one, not two, but 5 people so far who have gone to their events thinking that they were our events. So let me just say this. If you're looking to network after work, please make sure you're coming to an ITintheD event and not a circle jerk after work.
And if you're paying money to anyone besides the bartender, you are not at our event.
You're doing it wrong.
There's absolutely zero reason. The whole reason we started this whole thing to begin with was there's no reason they needed to pay to come to a networking event because they don't charge us.
No.
There's no point. And also the big bi-yearly coup de grace, the 10th. Bi-yearly event.
Is that a word?
Yes. Twice a year.
That's semi-annual.
No, I call it whatever I want. Biannual. See, Jer knows.
That's every 2 years.
Pinksa Party at the Majestic on the 10th of March. That's going to come up quicker than we anticipate. Last event, we had about 800 to 1,000 people come in and out the doors, 150 hiring managers. It is the job fair of all job fairs.
It's the non-job fair.
Right.
Of all job fairs.
No lines, no resumes.
Because how many job fairs do you know that have a DJ? Let's see, the last one.
Beer.
We had Cryo, the giant 10-foot-tall LED to the max, 1,100 LEDs with a big giant D on his chest, and compressed air guns shooting off, walking around.
Aren't the Ghostbusters coming to this one?
Absolutely, they're coming to this one.
So we're going to have the Ghostbusters live.
Because who are you going to call?
Exactly. That was so bad. You don't even get a bell for that one. Hey, we got a packed table here. Since Nuri's gone, we have our
we called in reinforcements.
We got a number one guest. Dr. Hook Jeremiah from DailyDetroit.com is in the house. Always a pleasure having you in studio with us.
Thank you so much.
And then Dan's here from VisitDetroit.com. We're gonna talk all things
the Metro Detroit Convention and Visitors Bureau.
Oh,
it sounds so official.
So I had to do the NPR thing for a moment.
So, yeah, you gotta we're not NPR, just so you know, Dan. So,
is it the wrong place? Sorry.
And then we have Dan, Matt, the CTO, Maria, the channel manager. Dan's the business development manager, all here from Nuspire Networks, company that I've been familiar with for at least 15 years of my professional career. And we're going to talk all things cloud, IT, data security, all the good, fun, happy topics that we love to talk about. But let's get down to business. I gotta put some hate out.
Before you do that,
oh my God.
Since this is breaking news and this is near and dear to my heart and yours as well, because we both love at least 2 of her movies. Folks, Vanity has died. Now, I know we all kind of wrote her off when she went the whole I found Jesus and got all preachy and stuff. But let's not forget her as Miss Laura Jones in The Last Dragon. And for you non-hip white people out there, so help me God, go watch The Last Dragon. It's 1985. It is phenomenal. I've been told I'm one of 8 white people that have ever seen The Last Dragon. Go see The Last.
Seen The Last Dragon?
I said one of 8.
We're 25% of Last Dragon.
We are.
That makes no sense.
Get yourself, stream it, find it, go watch The Last Dragon.
Well, apparently she passed away she had kidney disease, and it ties back to a guest we had from the National Kidney Foundation. So it's, again, near and dear to us. We have a couple friends that donated kidneys as well for people that need them. So rest in peace. Sad.
Vanity. Oh, no more nasty.
And you know who else I wish would go away? Uber.
Oh, we've hit that point now.
We love Uber.
We're now done with Uber.
Yeah, no, it's getting to the point where I will do everything but use Uber. So it's Friday night
here in Metro Detroit. Because I believe we've established a number of times that Uber here in Metro Detroit is significantly different than Uber anywhere else in the country.
Oh, it absolutely
Without
is.
a doubt.
Without a doubt.
Like I said, I did a 20-minute drive in Dallas. I think it was $7.50. Louisville, same thing.
Charlotte, same thing.
Boston.
Yeah, Boston, same thing. I went Jim Norton tickets at the Royal Oak Music Theater. My wife says, hey, why don't you get an Uber? Let's get crazy tonight. We haven't done that in a while. I says, perfect. So I go on Uber.
Hey,
all right.
Let's get crazy tonight.
Uber X, right? Select. You got 7 different choices. SUV. SUV is the most expensive. Well, all of a sudden, Uber X starts surging all the way up to 6X. It goes down to like 4.
Wait,
and then
what
it
time
settles
of
at,
night
like,
is this?
This is like 6:30.
Like
so we wanted to hit
way
Ronan
before
first.
party time.
Auburn Hills.
I'm in Auburn Hills. We wanted to hit Ronan first. We're like, all right, no, So I did a Uber X and an Uber XL. Uber X would have been $90. Uber XL would have been $140.
What?
To go not even 13 miles from
At that point, just call a cab.
At that point, the cab, no, because
at that point, call a freaking limo.
Yeah,
Right,
true.
right.
Get yourself a Metro car. Rent yourself a Metro car and go out on the town.
I got like a Detroit Sea Celebrity to pick me up in their car for cheaper.
Could have called Ashley. Ashley could have come and picked you up.
See, she's not Sealer. She's higher than
Where's
that.
Theo? Paging Theo.
Theo.
Paging
They
Theo.
would have totally picked me up. But no, it gets to a point like, hey, if it was 2X and it would have been a $30 cab, $40 cab, I'm still in.
Yeah.
Like even like 40, like it's
even 50 for the
for
the convenience of not driving, not having to, $50. I'm in.
Yeah, totally. But like when you start charging me $140 and like
for a 12-minute ride,
we're not popping champagne bottles in the back, and you're not.
Yeah, it's not a party bus.
Right,
It's
you're not
And you're not the only one who said stuff like this at all, especially with folks in the suburbs. I think they've really cut that base price too low, which means the drivers don't have enough incentive to have enough drivers out there. They've kind of it seems like they've kind of messed up their own system.
Then there's the double whammy of, so they crammed the new 23-page new terms of service down everybody's throats. Went with the whole, they readjusted all the rates again and what they're actually paying drivers.
And what I don't understand is why they keep cutting the prices when we really don't care.
Well, but now you have people that are bailing out of Uber, which means you're less likely to find Uber drivers when you open up the app, which means that when you do find an Uber driver, it's probably going to be on surge, and they're probably going to be cranky, which Uber started because we didn't want to deal with cranky cab drivers that we paid too much for, and so now we're right back to what they're supposed to be killing.
So really, we're having the Uber circle of life here, aren't we?
We are Hakuna Matata.
Right.
Uber is now a taxi cab, and it's fitting that their new logo. They just they hit was it the new valuation was how much?
Over $50 billion. Was
and
the
they redesigned their logo, and now
Makes
it
no
looks like a
sense.
butthole, which is perfect.
Digital butthole.
Exactly, which
A
I
square
think is
one.
accurate. At least truth in advertising.
It's a bent over butthole.
Truth in advertising.
Like going to the Dirty Show this weekend, the Uber logo should have been
It's
on
like
the wall.
the eye butthole.
Brought to you by Uber.
Uber, right? Hey, feel right at home. But it's like I went to go look. Everybody says, "Why didn't you look at Lyft?" And I go, "Lyft would have been 17 minutes." And I'm such a spoiled consumer.
There would have been a giant pink mustache on the front of the car.
And Lyft works when you're in the core city, but once you get outside of the core city, there's just not enough Lyft drivers.
No, and I see, like, the one time I tried to use Uber on the day before Thanksgiving, and he wouldn't drive because it was only 2 miles. He had to come from Birmingham to come get me. And I'm like, well,
wasn't that when you lost a shoe?
That was when that's when I almost lost my shoe. And
Did you eat a lot of cheese that
night? I
night?
fell face first in the mud. I walked home and they were doing construction in my neighborhood.
Okay.
My shoe got stuck.
For some reason, I remember you eating a lot of cheese that night.
That was, I went down the kitchen. I didn't take my shoes off.
Okay.
So
that's right. The next morning, there were cheese wrappers everywhere.
There's cheese wrappers everywhere, and my wife's vacuuming it in the morning going, what the hell did you do?
So, and this is possibly the most awkward segue ever. I never thought I would see myself saying this, but speaking of buttholes, I love that you can now... Like everywhere you go, it's always about the trinkets and trash. It's about the giveaways and the things that you're giving out at your booth and that kind of stuff. And I personally, I think we need to get a bunch of these on hand. No pun intended. There's now a USB drive that's a terabyte in size that is attached to a butt plug. So let's just let that sink in. A terabyte thumb drive that's attached to a fairly significantly sized, no less.
Dave, this is taking penetration testing to a whole new level.
Yay! And honestly, so this is what we were talking about. I truly think this is for you keep these on hand for fired clients. And that way, like as your parting gift, you can say, hey, here's all your data, take it and shove it up your ass.
Oh, man. I want to go back to boardroom.
Exactly. Let's boardroom. How'd that pitch happen?
Hey, CEOs, product development team here. We got a great idea for a new SKU. It's a USB drive in a butt plug.
It's a US butthole drive.
And And then let's do it. That sounds great.
Let's greenlight that sumbitch.
Like you have to pay for to get like 10.
And imagine being a part of that focus group.
Oh, yeah, right.
Because they brought in focus groups.
What we should do is we should drop 10,000 of them on the regime in North Korea.
Just drop them from B-52 bombers. What is it for though? Other than the obvious.
Other than say not to be Captain Obvious, but
the other I'm gonna take care of my business and I'm gonna save some files. I'm gonna back up my hard drive.
Bob just billed himself.
It's all about massaging your data, Bob.
It's a whole new data portal.
Does that go on the A drive, sir? All right.
What does that show up as when it attaches to your computer?
Hey, baby, check out my solid state storage.
For love of God. I don't want to live on this planet anymore.
So there are a couple of I guess let's segue away. There are a couple of new things coming out that are flashbacks to our childhood that I'm really kind of looking forward to and hope they don't screw up. Netflix released the initial logo and teaser for their new rendition of Voltron.
Oh, yes, please.
Dude, we've talked about Voltron when we were going to do the World Series of Pop Culture. That was in our submission form to be on the show. It was, we are the human Voltron team. We all joined together. Yeah. And all form the head. It's happening. They're bringing back Voltron. The other one is Universal Studios has greenlit a Battlestar Galactica movie.
Only if it has Edward James Olmos. Otherwise, I don't want no part of it.
Trying to think. Yeah, he made it through the series.
Is Lord Green still alive?
No, he's been dead for a while. Yeah.
Can they bring back Starbuck and Boomer?
I think they could have both Starbucks. That would be phenomenal.
Yeah, because then it'd be
have the chick and not Richard Hatch. That was Apollo. Dirk Benedict.
No, they could have Starbuck and Boomer just walk in and go, Boomer, we're home. Totally do a rip. See, that would make sense. That would be awesome. I would I looked for Voltron.
They need to have Starbuck with Starbuck in a Starbucks in the future. I think that would.
Battlestar Galactica versus Buck Rogers. Twiggy.
They haven't talked about. I'm kind of halfway surprised they haven't talked about rebooting that one yet. To be honest,
Buck Rogers was so good.
Yeah,
thank you. Yeah, thank you.
Twiggy. Hey, Buck.
Right. And that weird eagle guy. That was such a great show.
Hawkman.
Yeah, but that wasn't Hawk. Was his name Hawkman?
Yeah.
Oh.
But no, so I am, and I'm the first one to admit when the reboot, when the series came out, I avoided it like the plague because I was a purist. I still love the original back, from it only lasted one season if you think back. Loved it, refused to watch the new one, and I caught so much crap over it in conversations with friends that when it came around on BBC, I finally sat down and watched it. And then I hated myself for not watching it when it came out. So I've since gone out and bought there's 3 different DVD sets, and apparently there's a 10% delta between the 3. But if you want to have everything, you have to have all 3. So of course I went out and got all 3.
Of course.
I can't wait. I seriously hope this because again, Richard Hatch, speaking of Apollo, has been shopping this script for 10 years. Back when I met Dirk Benedict at Comic-Con years ago. I mean, that's he was talking about that then. I'm glad to see it finally coming forward, and it's going to be a thing.
They didn't put him in A-Team, so what else has he got to do?
Yeah, right. Yeah,
Body Slam Part 2.
Right.
What else you got to do, Dirk? But they did the trailer for Daredevil did come out.
That
doesn't look. I've been looking forward to that. I mean, that's the one I binged on a Sunday.
Yeah.
16 episodes or whatever it was, 12 or 16. I watched on Sunday. I buried that. That was the one binge I did.
Yeah.
And so bringing that. Walking Dead's back with a bang.
Walking Dead came back last night proper.
With a vengeance. That opening sequence. The opening scene was the best thing they've ever done in the whole series.
Dude, and I loved everybody that was trying to be all coy about it with because everybody gets all mad with spoilers on the internet. There were so many people that were hitting Twitter and Facebook that were like, wow, this episode's so slow. There's not really much going on. Typical boring opening episode. No.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, no, but oh my, from the opening with kaboom to all the some of it you saw coming a mile away. There was no way that she was going to live. Just even back from last year, it just wasn't going to happen. But yeah, wow! I saw, and if you're not watching The Talking Dead, are you watching that?
No.
Start DVRing that as well as The Walking Dead.
Then that's the time I put on my DVR and I watch Shameless because they both recorded at the same time.
Well, get a DVR that supports more than one recording, or catch it at a different. It's AMC. Walking Dead and Talking Dead are on like every 4 hours throughout the week. But no, it's kind of cool because they had the producer who was there talking about all of the practical effects and special effects and stuff that they did to make that episode, and that was just fascinating. And the other part is, so the wolf guy, the one that they had captive for a while,
W forehead guy,
the W guy, was on that. And so, but here's the funny part, dude. He's like in real life, he's like James Bond. Like he's sitting there on the couch in Talking Dead, and he's got like the tailored suit and in like the big wavy hair and the perfect teeth and the hello ladies, here to have. And so what I've basically learned is that nobody on The Walking Dead is American. Nobody. Because they're like every single character is either Australian or English, British, because every time they get them on the couch, it's like this accent that you hear coming out of your mouth. You're like, how the hell does that work?
And I know you wanted Carl to die too. I'm sure you're upset.
I totally, who doesn't want Carl to die? Carl!
Oh, speaking of which, like stuff that we watched that's coming back, I think I'm the last guy on the planet. I watched Spectre this weekend.
Okay.
And I want to sue for royalties because James Bond stole one of my lines. And he was at he went to order a martini. They're like, no alcohol here, sir. And he orders they give him the kale smoothie blendy. And he goes, how about you just put this right in the toilet and we can eliminate the middleman. And so help me God, if I haven't been saying that for 25 years, like that was an old White Castle joke, and that's mine. Damn it, I don't care what it. So I'm going to write a letter to whoever the hell made that stupid movie, and I want my $25 royalty check
for the rest of my life.
For the rest of
once
every
a
time
month.
James Bond says that, just like the Kit Kat lady, she wants Kit Kat for the rest of her life. He stole my material. James Bond is my Amy Schumer to Joe Rogan.
Oh,
exactly. If you haven't been following that one, that one's a doozy. I got my favorite guy of the year award.
Shoot,
the guy that they were going to give him an award for working.
I loved it for most consecutive years of service, and then they discovered he hadn't actually been at work for at least
6 years.
6 years. They know it was at least 6 years, possibly as long as 11. Just was never there.
And the fact that he wins an award and that's how they find out, he would still be getting a check.
And here's the business story. Like, he got paid for like 6 to 11 years of not showing up to work. They launched a legal investigation into it. They found that, yes, he was not there for at least 6 years. And he has to pay back 1 year worth of salary. That's it. That's it.
Wow,
1 year.
What a deal.
Like, hashtag career goals.
That's an amazing. I know. Like, the fact, like, he's like Milton. Just wants to be.
Yeah, my stapler.
Exactly. Just wants to be.
I was told you would not move my desk anymore.
The fact that the guy sits at home probably every week going, the check cashed. Like, it's going to be like Christmas every week. The check comes. He's like, idiots.
Well, and it's funny because like you read his take on it. It was he was put in a job that he wasn't really happy with because of his his political leanings, and it was an appointed job. And still, you didn't go to work for hats off, man.
Who's your boss? Oh, he was supposed to be in charge of like an off-site project.
Yeah.
It's like you were in charge of like the waterworks deal and you got to go off-site. Like, okay.
He was in charge of the water system in Flint.
Right. Oh, it all comes full circle.
His worst fear in the world was probably getting a promotion. If he gets promoted, it all comes crumbling down.
Oh, anything. Yeah,
it isn't actually going to go.
Laid low.
So anybody here with an iPhone? Anyone? Bueller?
Yep. No, I don't have one.
So have you set your phone back to January 1st, 1970 yet?
I have not. No.
Go ahead and do that. Actually,
don't do that.
So gotta love, because if it's on the internet, it must be true. Somebody on 4chan, the soft, seedy underbelly of the internet, posted, hey, if you set your iPhone back to 1/1/1970, it comes up, it's a little Easter egg the programmers put in, and it comes up with like the old, Apple ads. Like, ignore the fact that Apple wasn't a company in 1970. Ignore the fact that it doesn't really make sense. But go ahead and do that. And so people started doing it. Well, here's the minor detail. Not only does it not show you the ad, but it completely bricks your phone. And it's unrecoverable, and there's nothing anyone can do about it. Beautiful. But it was all over the internet.
But no, because 2016 is the year of the troll. Because you've seen those memes that have been going out and saying, "Hey, when the roads are icy, just hammer nails into your tire, and it works like it gets better traction." So idiots are like, "I tried it, and it did. My tires are broke now." But like,
I threw boiling water on my windshield, and it shattered my windshield. What happened?
Right. So these troll memes are going around. So this one comes out, and everybody's like, "Okay, I'll do it." Like, if you even see something anywhere, especially 4chan, aren't you going to Google it and just see, like, okay, is this for me? Is this the setting for? No,
I have no sympathy, because the people that fell for this are the same people that share the .com.co stories. They're the same.
I did it once.
They're the same people that share all the memes that have no foundation or basis in reality whatsoever.
Drunk and I did it once. Wait! You mean if we share Powerball winnings, we won't all get $4.33 million?
Right. Mark Zuckerberg is not going to give a Star Destroyer to everyone at midnight.
No.
And speaking of Mark Zuckerberg, one of our favorite celebrities, Kanye.
Oh, Kanye.
And like, it wasn't enough entertainment that the man who wrote the song Gold Digger married Kim Kardashian.
Well, now he is the gold digger. It's all come full circle.
I'm not going to put together a prospectus. I'm not going to put a business plan together. I'm just going to send a tweet. I'll go, give me $1 billion. Let's do this.
To Mark Zuckerberg.
Yeah. I think I'm gonna go. My next presentation, I'm just gonna write Yeezy on it and just hand it in.
Right.
Just be like $1 billion, Yeezy, done. One slide. Over.
You just want to work with me because it's me. Because you want to work with me.
Because I'm Kanye.
It wasn't give me $1 billion. It was invest $1 billion in Kanye.
Living the dream.
Feeling the flow, working it. Well,
that's almost aneurysm inducing.
So you know who's even stupider? I don't know who's stupider, the one for falling for it or the publication for writing it, but WXYZ.com put out an article going, be careful, there's a scam going around where people call you and say they're from Microsoft, and they take over your computer and
which we've been talking about for a year.
But like this, so it gets to the point where an old lady gets hit with it. And
it cost her, what, $400?
$400, and she goes to the news, and the news writes about it as if it's something new. Like, have you ever gotten these phone calls saying they're from Microsoft? I got them for a series for a couple weeks where they were, hey, let's take over your computer. They make, oh my God, look at all these errors. Right. And then they take it over, and you got to pay them $400, and then they let your computer go. But they didn't do anything. But WXYZ had the wherewithal to actually write about it as if
it was breaking news.
Exactly. But hey, speaking of break, we're going to go to a quick one.
Oh, yeah, we are. God.
Yeah, and we'll be back in segment 2 with the entire team from Nuspire Networks. This is the IT in the D show, and we'll be right back.
IT in the D. Read, meet, listen. Networking Detroit, one beer at a time.
Hey, this is John Schneider from Nip Tuck Smallville, the haves and the have-nots. Oh, Dr. Quinn, Hot in Cleveland. Secret Lives of the American Teenager, and just about everything you can possibly imagine. And oh yeah, the Dukes of Hazzard. You're listening to Bob and Dave. It's the IT in the D show.
ITintheD.com.
This is a previously recorded episode of the IT in the D show.
Welcome back, segment 2, episode 131. This is the #1 ranked technology podcast on SoundCloud this week. This is the IT in the D show. We are broadcasting live here in Podcast Detroit in beautiful Ferndale, Michigan. This is Bob the Sales Guy here with Dave the Geek. Nuri is on location, so we got Dr. Hook Jeremiah here from Daily Detroit to fill in his seat. Find us online, ITintheD.com. We have Ian and Randy out in Twitterland. Find us on Twitter and give us a follow at /ITintheD. Download our app at Podcast Detroit and give us a like on the Facebooks.
Yeah, and the app just recently got updated, so we've got like all the different show archives and all the different show listings and all that stuff on it. So it's a little cleaner now.
Rank us or give us a rating on iTunes.
For the love of God.
Even though if it sucks, I don't care. 1 star, worst podcast ever. I'm fine. I'm fine with that. It gives us something to reach for. And do us a favor, mark your calendars. The 18th of February, Hamlin Corner for regular social, and then March 10th, our Pinksel party at the Majestic. That will be a fun time.
Yeah, because we weren't doing third Thursday in March. We're not having an event on St. Patrick's Day.
No St. Patrick's Day. No. But hey, we would like to welcome out we have the entire, I think this is the whole company is here, right, from Nuspire. I'm just kidding. We got Dan here, who's Director of Business Development. We got Matt, the CTO, and Maria, who's your channel manager from Nuspire Networks. So any of those not familiar with what Nuspire is, I know I've known you guys for forever, but give us a little 5-second elevator pitch on what Nuspire is and what you guys do.
Yeah, great. Nuspire is one of the world's leading managed security service providers. Born and raised here in the Metro Detroit area. So we got a couple offices around the Metro Detroit area. We've been going strong for about 17 years. We've been following you guys forever, and we're glad to be here.
Good. So managed security, right? We talk about security all the time, and it's one of our favorite topics. And if the recurring theme with us is always, it's not simply the threat detection. We love talking about the social engineering aspect of it. But you guys are handling simply the threat. The outside the threat prevention. Am I correct in that?
Well, yeah. So we provide kind of a full suite of managed services, ranging from managed firewall, edge security, internal segmentation of networks, and things of that nature. Threat intelligence, and we also utilize our SIM technology quite a bit as well. So big data SIM, we hold trillions of pieces of information. Trillions with a T.
Right. So what's in that? What is that? Are those prior threats? Are you doing?
So those are logs of previous events that have occurred for clients and things of that nature that we have the ability to report on, mine data for. We might look at. We also bring in true threat intelligence from social feeds and our own development within our security analytics team, and kind of marry all that information up, and then utilize big data technology, stuff that was born out of Twitter and places like that, on how you deal with massive amounts of information, and in real time compare all the information we know that's bad out there to what we're seeing coming in real time from our customers' equipment and things of that nature, or the devices that we manage, our service devices out there, and find those threats. And they're blocking things either in real time or we're mining previous data that we might see for previous indicators of compromise and things of that nature.
So your customers, obviously they don't even know that they're being compromised. Are you telling them, hey, you just got hammered and we just stopped you? Pat ourselves on the back, our house, right?
So a majority of the time that's it, right? So we identify that something's happened. We've probably blocked it in real time. So somebody's got a botnet out there and it's phoning home to a command and control server. We're seeing it, we're blocking it in real time, and we're notifying our clients to help mitigate those threats and re-image machines or whatever the case might be.
Sure. Sometimes it could even just be asking the questions that, maybe raise that red flag. Just like, hey, is this normal? You mentioned before the idea about that social engineering could be a big part of the threat. Well, we can find in the data something that looks a little strange, right? So it might be a call that says, hey, do you know that your secretary is in your finance system right now? That's never happened before.
Right.
And that's the kind of thing that, besides just documentation, can actually raise a flag to like, no, our secretary should not be cutting checks.
Right. And that was the thing we talk about all the time is the people, like the biggest threat is emailing Excel home. Right, it's all your.
I'm just going to work on this at home.
Right, it's your corporate data. How do you tell them no, and B, what do you do about it?
Yeah, or C, how do you even know half the time? Right, we can do a lot of that for you. Like, hey, did you know what's going on here? And then more than just an Excel, like, wow, someone just dumped their entire database and mailed it home.
Right, that machine never communicates on the internet, but there's a huge data dump today.
Right,
attempted.
right.
So, or it's not just network communications. We also have things like file integrity monitors on host systems. So we're scanning the entire system of all the files that are on there, looking at checksums like SHA-1 checksums,
right?
Comparing that to known bad checksums and being able to see in real time when a new file is on there and it's a bad file, right? And then being able to relate that to other pieces within the network, correlate all those events together, and really be able to build a full picture on what's going on from a threat perspective.
So security is always one of our favorite topics, just because there's so many different ways to look at it, right? Like we talked about. There are 3 different ways right off the bat, right? Between rogue detection, stuff being, hacking in, we talk about Russian, Chinese hackers. what from a, I mean, just from, I don't even know, but from a percentage standpoint, what's the biggest, we always see the biggest problems on the inside, but I don't know. You guys are the pros.
Yeah. I mean, come on. We're humans, right?
Right.
we are terrible as humans.
Right. Well,
so, that is one of the biggest threats is the human being side of things, right? So either companies that don't have good policies in place or good procedures where they need help from a good managed services provider to help guide them along, right? So we may be able to help with some of those components to help guide those people from making mistakes, right? So protecting them from themselves is a big part of that. And then the technology background, right? So you mentioned phishing attacks, right? So spear phishing especially is so nasty, right? So I don't know, like just today, Netflix announced an issue where, basically there's phishing happening with their look and feel to capture credentials and those types of things. Cold's just had an issue about compromised accounts also that all came out of phishing. Phishing is the one way to go. So we have technology that helps prevent those phishing attacks. To look for them, to be able to sandbox it, to be able to identify maybe Trojans that are in there and brand new malware that's never been seen before, but identified as malware within those email messages. So the technology side is there to help with that, and then we also help with the human side to monitor and look for those issues that are out of the norm.
Yeah, because we hear all the time about Jim in accounting had bad Wi-Fi coverage, so we plugged in an AP under his desk.
Right. Yeah.
Right. I mean, if you have bad policy, that's a very normal thing. And how do you know?
Well, for us, we have rogue detection monitors that we deploy and look for those things. Right.
I just threw you a softball there for the. No, I'm just
so hang on, hold on. I did say that, right?
We did. Exactly.
Does a bell go off for that one?
Right.
So
give him a bell. Come on.
Fine.
All right.
So rogue detection, rogue AP detection is huge, right? So big for PCI compliance, credit card compliance. It requires rogue AP monitoring.
PCI 3 is so much fun.
It is.
Yeah. He said sarcastically.
Oh. It's super easy. Everybody does it.
Right. It's a piece of cake. It's, yeah.
But I mean, rogue AP, like you mentioned, is like that. We see that all the time where that exact scenario. Wi-Fi kind of is terrible here. Plug in my $29 Linksys or whatever, and that's wonderful. Now
I have a whole other network.
Yeah.
That's great.
Like branch offices and remote offices that they don't like the speed of their internet, so they just order their own Comcast line and start like a secondary network just on the side.
And just plug their point of sale system right
exactly,
into it.
Like they go out and get their home router, plug that in, and plug the cash register in, and they're cooking.
Or people that just have no clue what they're doing when it comes to programming firewalls and are doing something for like OpenTable on restaurants or something of that nature. And instead of it being pinpricks in some of those pieces in the firewall, it's a gaping hole that's like, here, go straight to our back-end accounting system, within the station.
Well, Dave always gives me crap because I installed a Nest and I just put Wemo in the house, and he's like, "Oh, you like gaping holes in your security? Oh, that's great." I said, "Well, at what point do you just say, because here's the thing, we always joke, I have a Amazon Echo and I have a Xbox, One with the sensor, and I have the Nest.
It recognizes you as soon as you sit down.
It does. It freaks my kid out. But like, at what point do you is it too much? Or, I mean, how, we always say security is based on your level of paranoia. At what point is it okay, or what point, do you shut it all down?
I guess, again, so security, in my opinion, is all about mitigating risk, right? So you have to find the balance between money and, your
what's your risk profile?
Well, right.
And tolerance.
Right. We missed an article earlier, but what's your take on this? When Samsung, in their actual terms and conditions, said, please, when you're around our product, don't
our smart TVs,
right?
Yeah, don't say any personal information because we're might sell it to a third party. I'm like, well, shit, my whole house is Samsung TVs.
Well, so that exists, the marketing and the way that's taken over, basically the world and the internet, right? So you look at not just Samsung TVs and how they might be able to market some of those pieces to you, but you look at, new digital presence technology, tracking our cell phones as we go in and out of stores, right? We used to use lasers, right? It used to ding pleasantly as we walk through the door, right? Not anymore. No, now we throw in sensors. They're either Bluetooth sensors or Wi-Fi sensors to track where we are, what's going on. If we visited this location and some other location, Apple comes back, they're now going to scramble your MAC address, and that's going to make things better. And then the other guys figure out how to do it all over again, right? So it's the same circular cycle that we always see. I see. If I've seen it once, I've seen it 1,000 times, where we just are going in circles and constantly, one, mitigating piece then falls back into the.
David explains why I keep getting Jägermeister and Funyuns coupons sent to the house.
It's every trip to 7-Eleven.
Totally.
Totally. No, but I mean, like that's my whole thing, and that's been my take on it. Is I don't like the fact that the way the industry is going is it's relying on the implementers of those pieces of technology to do things responsibly, as opposed to me getting the opt-out right here on my phone.
Right.
You know, I can't lock it down here. You're relying on them to do it right. When I'm not going to. So like I've always like every time Audi airs a commercial that says our car makes 4,000 decisions a second, it reinforces my belief that I will never drive an Audi because I know programmers.
Those are great cars.
And I'm sure they are, but I'm never going to have one. You know, but it's that same thing. Like I'm not comfortable relying on someone else to do things right when there are so many monetary reasons and everything else for them to not do it right.
Yeah, well, so you kind of mentioned a little bit on the internet things, right? You've got all these gadgets at your house. So what about, so you've got somebody that creates, heart monitors or something like that. And they are really good at doing heart monitors or blood pressure cuffs or whatever the case might be at a hospital. But they are terrible at figuring out how to get that thing IP connected, right? So some guy there figures out how to throw, a Raspberry Pi in the mix of it all, and now there's an IP connected device, but it's totally the biggest security threat on the network. Right?
We just talked about this 4 or 5 months ago on the show, where literally every pacemaker on the market that was available from like 3 different manufacturers was able to be hacked over the open net.
14 centimeters of them or something, right? That one.
But they were all IP enabled, and they were designed to phone home.
Oh yeah, right.
So I know which ones you're talking about. Yeah, no, so they were designed to phone home to give stats and updates and all that kind of stuff. And somebody stumbled across, hey, if I guess the right MAC address, I can turn off someone's pacemaker. That's a problem.
They can go faster.
Yeah, that's
Well,
probably
not
bad.
Like we talk connected cars all the time. The article just came out that they can get hacked with a laser pointer, like a store-bought at Walgreens laser pointer.
Remember when Sony was so proud of their DVD protection technology that took 8 seconds and a black marker written around the ring to break?
like a Keurig hack, right? Just take the barcode and tape it onto your next cup.
That's right. Yeah, put a piece of tape across the back of the VHS. Yeah,
correct. We just talked about that last week. Yeah,
those the keyless entry for your car. People figured out if you just bolt a repeater underneath the car, then you can grab the guy who's sitting at the restaurant, get in his car, and go.
And that's
Sybil's a repeater.
That security stuff is a real concern for these brands. I mean, when I was talking to the editor of Cars.com at the auto show, that's something that is on their mind over and over again, because the first time there's a major real break, it's going to be absolutely crazy. When it's a security break that everybody can understand and somebody did something that hits the news and goes crazy, it's going to make everybody freak out.
But did Target sales ever go down?
But will it? Because will it specifically because it was huge news when the lady, and granted it was a controlled experiment, she opened her car up and said, yeah, I want to run this experiment.
Right.
They shut down her Jeep remotely. They shut down her car on the highway. They took it over. They made it accelerate. They made it decelerate. They made it turn. They made it turn things on and off.
Yep.
We need to go to airplanes? I mean, how about beyond cars, right? So,
well, I mean, and that's part of the challenge, right? Is that when that happens in the wild and somebody just wakes up one morning and all of a sudden they're on their way to work and they're driving somewhere else because they can't control their car, that's when it's going to be something that really hits. And it's interesting because the automakers are all moving towards the point where you can actually Wi-Fi update your cars.
No, not moving towards the point. Tesla. Yeah. I mean, that was there was when
Tesla. There's Tesla, and then there's the mainstream.
True, but Tesla had to revamp their entire update, setup because when they had their first models came out and they released that first update, it took about 8 seconds before someone went, "Hey, I can get into Tesla cars."
Hey, does Tesla make you download the Ask.com toolbar too?
No, they're not running Java, from what I understand.
That's not I'd ask. Figured you download an update for your car and you got to download something like Speedway coupon comes with an update. Kiss my ass.
Nice interstitial ad every time you open it up.
Jeremiah brought up a point where Cars.com was afraid of it, and I said hey, did Target sales ever go down? When they got bombed and all that, Home Depot,
they did, and then they went right back up.
Right, just Tylenol sales went up after the cyanide poisoning.
In some ways, Tesla going through these is kind of a buffer for everybody else because although Tesla gets so many headlines, they don't sell very many cars. Their fleet is tiny compared to what all the other automakers sell. And so when they do something, it gets a lot of press, but in reality, it's almost like they're the buffer that all the other automakers be like, okay, that's what we need to not do. Because, they've got a great group of lab rats, which is their owners. They're willing to go through anything for those Tesla guys. Well, the General Motors could never get away with.
So what's your take on that? I mean, 'cause we talk cars all the time.
Unless, of course, it's gas
Great
tanks.
topic. Right. I know you guys do a ton of business in the dealer networks. I mean, so what's your take on the whole connected car thing? Is it worse? Is it better?
I mean, obviously, it's just like all these other pieces, right? So you have to take care when it comes to the security around those cars and the way they communicate. I don't see it any different than anything else that's out there. Cars, planes, whatever the case might be. The underlying communications has to be secure for those pieces, and not only the way it's phoning home potentially for updates, but the in-car piece, right? So if I get into Wi-Fi on that car, can I go beyond Wi-Fi, right? Can I somehow get through that next piece to start getting into the mechanical systems and really start taking control? So.
Well, as we both have our automatics plugged into our cars.
Totally do. No, but then the cars have to talk to each other, right?
Right. So
I think the one gift I think everybody wants is to be able to text the car that just cut you off. That needs to be a thing. Whoever's writing,
right?
Like instead of
not even cut you off, just doesn't quite understand the concept of the fast lane. It's the passing lane. And that means that you have a moral obligation to be going faster than the car behind you wants to go.
So you can hack her radio and say, "Move, bitch, get
out the way."
Right, exactly. See? I pay good money for that technology.
On the way here, I was driving up 75, and everyone was driving 55. I'm like, before Brooks builds a new lane of freeway, let's just mandate everyone goes the speed limit.
Yeah.
But that's the thing, too. When you great thing with connected cars, but now the cars are talking to each other. That's the only way for this whole thing to work. Right, and then what? It becomes you're opening up Pandora's box.
Isn't that how did the Terminator start? Right, wasn't
they've become aware?
Oh, dude, we're creating Skynet every day.
Skynet,
like that whole Google robot that runs through the woods scares the ever living hell out of us. Because you plug Google, that their AI in that robot that can run around. That's Skynet. That's the beginning of the Terminators right there. We're watching two things happen: Idiocracy and Terminator. Those two things are going on right now as we're watching it, and no one's paying attention.
I would totally vote for President Hector Macho Camacho or whatever the heck his name was.
That would be Trump.
Hey.
No, I do have to segue for a second, just in a little self-interest, I will admit.
Please do.
So one of our guys at our office hacked a wheelchair, to his big goal.
Jerk.
He's a very lazy person. He's very lazy, and he will spend literally a lifetime solving a problem so he can save like 2 seconds someplace else. And so in this case, he
vaguely familiar.
He hated cutting his grass. Like it was the worst thing ever. And so he decided the best thing to do would be to sit on his porch, have a couple beers, and use a remote control lawnmower to cut his grass. So he hacked a mechanical wheelchair, hooked it up to diodes or all these other things to figure out the signal, built it into a digital signal to relay back into the analog into the wheelchair, got that part done, he got it all figured out. So now he's got a remote control wheelchair. People randomly would drive by our office and he would have it out tooling around in the parking lot.
Now, but see, how long ago was this?
2 years ago.
Okay, because for like $130, the people that made Roomba, the little vacuuming robot, they have a lawnmower now.
Oh yeah, so and he would never spend that. He would never spend $600 on that because he'd feel like I can make it for like $200. You would think like I've got this on eBay.
The 12-year-old kid down the street will do it for $15.
Like I said, he wants a lifetime long solution. He hasn't thought through.
There's always going to be 12-year-old kids in the neighborhood.
Kids don't have a remote control. That's
and let's be honest, 12-year-old kids aren't out looking to mow grass and shovel snow anymore.
Big plans to have different attachments, maybe a snowplow.
Right.
So here is my self-interest.
Flamethrowers from that place in Troy.
Right. So I'm looking for more people that can do that kind of stuff. Like total hacks, total geeks, people that can get down and dirty and get into that stuff. Please call me.
Which explains why you guys were at Penguicon last year. You were one of the sponsors.
Yep. So I'm looking for more geeks, nerds, techs, hackers, whatever, white hats. preferably, or I'll bring you over to the good side.
We won't tell.
They're still good in him. I feel it.
So, but I did want to make a general call out since you have such a huge following to say, please, give us a call if you're interested in a position because we'd love to find some high tech people. So that was my little.
Someone who can hack a lawnmower.
Yeah, I mean, if you can hack a lawnmower, or understand the OSI layers, or
it's all really, it's that whole if you can dodge a ball, you can dodge a wrench or whatever. Really.
So, but I guess that's the part is that we have a lot of fun, and so fun people tend to do dumb, dorky things together. I guess, but it's good times.
That's the cornerstone of our group.
Why aren't you at our events more? I say the pink slip party would be perfect. And seriously, there's probably 900 geeks in the room. There, a lot of them are coders and PMs, but I mean, you'll find.
Well, and that's what I want. I want coders. I want PMs. I want all those good people. So.
Well, and laughably, you look back historically. So, we had one of our first guests on the show. One of the first folks we had at one of the pink slip parties doing stuff were the little fighting robot guys. And Matt has now gone on to be Mega Robots guy, challenging Japan, and getting all this press coverage and media coverage and all that stuff.
You know the story?
No, I don't know. This isn't like the Mega Robot.
Yes.
The spikes.
No, Matt Orline. Matt Orline, the guy he ran I3Detroit.
Okay.
Was one of
right behind here.
Yeah, was one of our first guests. Loved the guy. Knew him years ago. And was doing little fighting. They were building little prototype fighting robots and that kind of stuff. Now he's doing the Mega Robot U.S. versus Japan.
International news.
He's out in Boston in a Taco Bell commercial. All that. We know a few people.
But hey, how do we find Nuspire.com, right? Nuspire?
You got it.
Nuspire.com. Yeah.
Perfect. So we'll send a few folks your way that come to ask us because we get asked all the time who's hiring.
Yeah.
It's always good to know.
Coders, PMs, sales engineers. So I like sales engineers because they speak my language, but I don't have to go to sales meetings when they're.
I'm the sales guy, no engineer. Exactly. But hey, great having you guys out. We'll have you back segment 4 if there's anything to double back on because we love these conversations with the connected car and all the hacks and all that. So appreciate Nuspire for hanging out with us. We'll be back segment 3. Dan from VisitDetroit.com.
The Metro Detroit Convention Visitors Bureau.
Thank you. You bet you're a better man than me because I would not have remembered that at all. This is the ITintheD show, and we'll be right back.
ITintheD. Read, meet, listen. Networking Detroit. One beer at a time.
Hi, I'm Brittany Daniel from The Game, and you're listening to ITintheD show.
ITintheD.com.
This is a previously recorded episode of the ITintheD show.
Welcome back. You are listening to the #1 rated technology podcast
on SoundCloud
this week. This is the ITintheD show, episode 131. We are broadcasting here live in podcast Detroit and beautiful Ferndale, Michigan. This is Bob, the sales guy, here with Dave the Geek. Dr. Hook Jeremiah is in the house, replacing Nuri. Find us online, ITintheD.
Just temporarily.
Hashtag not Nuri.
So you're not fired, Nuri. Find us online and all things, ITintheD.com. We have a ton of things going on, especially if you check out our Learn tab. You can get unlimited curriculum and training for anything CompTIA, Microsoft, Cisco, basic security certifications for $29 a year.
Or all the way up to like certified ethical hacker and that kind of stuff. It's pretty sweet.
CISSP, but I think you need sponsoring for that. But regardless, it's unlimited curriculum, $29 a year. We're going to start having meetups in Bamboo. We just signed that deal today, where we're going to build a little
community around there. Yeah.
So people, you're not just stuck at home with the curriculum. We're gonna have some mentors, and we're gonna have some engineers from Cisco coming out, and we're gonna have a couple people doing help desk. I think Darshan, Randy, both put their hands up to help. So this should be good. So
I'm content.
Yeah, and the Learn tab, and if you want to hit the Meet tab, that's MEET. That's gonna have all our events to a market calendar.
Still no private label meat sticks.
Nope, we're getting there. We'll get there.
Well, and then we did just launch that I'll watch, which has the videos that we've done for these shows so far, as well as all the other videos that we've done.
Are we going formal with that yet?
Oh, it's out there. It's live.
Oh, I know, but it's kind of like the restaurant opening, and then you tell people a month later that it's over.
It's out there. Go check them out and tell us how much they suck.
We're doing little 5-minute videos before the podcast.
And then deals, so like all the little stuff that we talk about during our reads and that kind of thing are all out there for you to catch up with as well. So yeah. Yay. So Dan,
what's up?
Let's talk about the Metro Detroit Convention and Visitors Bureau. So you do a lot of cool stuff, and you're always posting about things going on downtown. So talk to me about, because until I became friends with you, I didn't know Detroit had a Convention and Visitors Bureau.
Dave, forget this. Let's just talk Applebee's for the whole half hour. Come on. That's why Dad came here. Let's beat around the bush.
Biggest news in Detroit for the last year.
Detroit, we have an Applebee's.
Right, exactly.
Saving the city one riblet at a time.
Right, exactly.
So what? At the airports. Welcome to Detroit, Applebee's.
We have an Applebee's. Here's your directions to Applebee's. Here's your directions to Applebee's. Here's your directions to Applebee's. Yeah. So what does? I mean, because I guess I kind of know the answer. There are more and more conventions and conferences and that kind of stuff that are coming to Detroit. So what is your role at the CVB, and what do they do?
So a Convention and Visitors Bureau, which, by the way, you'll be happy to know that Detroit is the oldest Convention and Visitors Bureau in the nation. First one ever created.
Really?
Right in Detroit.
I was gonna go, ooh, but then, I'll take the belt.
Do we need slow clap?
Thank you. But the idea is that we're promoting Detroit, we're promoting Metro Detroit to both conventions, associations, but then also to leisure, visitors. So we're kind of two audiences, and we're trying to attract people to come in and see what we've got, especially with this comeback city.
And that's so okay. Detroit has a certain rep around the country. Like I flew back from my high school reunion back in October. The first thing the Uber driver said to me when I said I was flying, and I flew in from Detroit, was, "You're not carrying a gun, are you?" Because I don't allow guns. And I'm like, dude, really? Like, look at me. But so
it's a gun with a USB.
Right? Yeah, exactly. I've got this plug. Got this USB drive for you, pal. How does one sell Detroit, especially in the midst of our wonderful "what's the temperature? We don't have one" weather? How do you market Detroit to leisure travelers?
So it's interesting that you say that, because we talk to a lot of writers. We talk to writers, travel writers, just people who are writing about destinations, and we'll get the story. They'll come in, they'll call our media relations person. They'll say, "You know what? I got the Detroit beat. Just give me a couple bullet points. Let me see what this is all about, and then I'm going to write a story, and then move on to the next one."
So is it I got the Detroit beat, or is it
usually
I got the Detroit beat?
Yeah, you know what? I really wanted to cover New York. Right. I really wanted to go to Florida.
I wanted the Bahamas, but they gave me Detroit.
Let me get this over with. And so our media person, talks to them, and and she ends up giving them way more than they ask for. And I would say 9 times out of 10, probably 10 times out of 10, they get all this information. They say, okay, well, I can't just write about this, because there's a ton of stuff that I really have to come check out. So let me just book a day. I'll come in, and maybe I'll leave that evening.
Right.
They come in, and I swear to you, they don't want to leave. Happens all the time.
So, do you guys want a playing tour guide for these folks that come in?
Yeah, well, we have tour guides that are part of our membership, and they do a little bit, and we know a lot about the city and about the metro area. So whatever it pertains to, whatever the beat is about, whatever their shtick is, we kind of help them out, guide them, give them the right people to talk to. If it's museums or traveling on a budget or coming into town, to see the auto show, whatever it is. We get them to where they need to go. We get them connected. They usually, like I said, write great stories. And then, the rest is history, because there I go and I get the stories. I get to promote it to the rest of the people on social media.
Well, no, because that's the thing. I'm an East Coast kid, Boston, DC, and I talk to my and friends back east. They're like, dude, you've been there for 20 odd years now. why?
Right,
and I keep telling them, I'm like, guys, you don't understand. I'm like, Detroit has all of the same cool stuff that a DC or Boston has. Granted, you're going to have to drive to it. Like it's not, it's not as centralized. It's like, we don't have the great downtown area, even though that's starting to happen and that kind of stuff. But, you look at, the Royal Oak, Ferndale, downtown, there's a lot of great stuff out here. Right. And they go, oh, all right, well, I'm coming out to visit. All right. Yeah. I'll take you out. We'll have fun.
Yeah. We'll make it a night. Make it a couple, a weekend. And that's what it is because really it's the education. That's what it comes down to. Nobody knows. And when, unfortunately we get we get a bad rep from, big media, national media.
Oh, the only time Detroit shows up on CNN.com is when something bad or stupid has happened.
Right, exactly. Yeah. And so that's something that the Visitors Bureau is battling against daily. And so we're trying to, that old adage, you put out 14 good stories to negate one negative story. So I'm constantly putting out all this great content, to hopefully that, people will see it, put it out to the right audience, and hopefully we get people coming over. And that's right now, it's what's happening.
Well, you were saying before the show that how many restaurants are opening in the next year?
Well, in the past year, there's been over 100, and I think actually closer to 300, over 300.
That's in the past year.
Yeah, in the past year.
That's insane.
So, to have that kind of boom.
Now, okay,
in
Detroit or Metro Detroit?
Most of them are in downtown Detroit.
Wow.
I mean, we cover the Tri-County area. So,
which you should.
It keeps us at Daily super busy because there's always a new thing to write about.
Yeah, and most CVBs they cover like the downtown.
Yeah, Jeremiah, because that's what you need is another top 5 burger list.
I haven't written a burger list in a year and a half.
I'm kidding.
But come on, the Marcus Burger's really good.
Right.
But yeah, there's all kinds of things to talk about, and the restaurants. People, especially I don't know if it's just Detroiters or if it's people interested in Detroit. Food is a huge topic. Food.
If you look at, I go to Chicago a lot. I have family there, and that's the one saying. I don't remember the exact number. I might Google it afterwards because it's saying you could eat 3 meals a day for like 8 years in Chicago and not go to the same restaurant twice. It's something just obscene, and that's what I never liked about Chicago that I loved about Detroit is, oh, you want pizza, you go here. Oh, you want steak, you go here. Oh, you want Italian, you go here. Oh, you want Arabic, you go there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and it's vast. There's all kinds of different, nationalities, categories, ethnicities that you can, partake in Detroit and Metro Detroit.
Very cool. So I guess, like I said, I've seen more, cons, conferences, conventions, that kind of stuff coming here. What, from your perspective, what are the biggest things that have come to this area in the past or are coming to this area shortly that have the most impact or are things that people should be on the lookout for, coming to the area?
Well, there's a whole bunch of new conferences and conventions, and honestly, I can't even keep track. We had
I don't blame you.
We had last year. We had it was the
just within
Lutherans conference,
just within our niche within a niche within a niche, like the world that we play in. Like our calendars are already overfull.
Oh, yeah.
Because there's this event, that event, this con, this convention, this conference.
To go to.
It's crazy how many are popping up.
Oh yeah, they're all over the place, and and from our perspective, as our sales team selling it, it's a lot easier to sell a Detroit than a Chicago because it's cheaper to come to Detroit and do a convention than it is to go and have one in Chicago.
Well, the hotels are filling up now. Where that was a big problem with Detroit was you didn't have the hotel capacity.
Oh yeah,
that's changed though.
So that's they've opened up some new hotels. They're opening up new boutique hotels. They've got a whole range of different things that are happening, and
I think like 2,500 new hotel rooms are coming online.
Right.
And I remember 7 or 8 years ago when all the talk was, oh my gosh, all these casinos are opening up. How are we ever going to fill the hotel rooms? Everyone was worried because they couldn't see the future. on like what could really happen here. And there's so much. I feel like there's so much more runway to go around that space.
You talk about outside travelers, but me and my wife staycation about every 3 months.
Right.
Where we stay at the Cadillac. We stayed at Motor City this weekend. And we go to a restaurant we've never been to.
Yeah.
And we hit a couple bars and we stay downtown and you wake up like a couple dozen. And you wake up and you feel like you're on vacation. And oh, by the way, we only have a 20-minute drive home. You know what I mean? It's a beautiful thing.
It's beautiful. And thank you for doing that. We appreciate it.
Well, and I guess that's a good question. I mean, is that part of your role is marketing Detroit to Metro Detroit? Because I my father-in-law, love the guy deeply, but he will not go below 8 Mile. Like, he's a huge country music fan.
Yeah.
Willie Nelson was at the Fox.
Yeah.
Dude, I will buy you VIP tickets. We'll go. We'll have a great time. You'll get backstage, meet and greet. Life's good. He wouldn't go. And I'm like,
No.
I don't get it. Like,
Right.
and that's the first.
The best phone call I ever made in my life is when I was 15 years old. My father dropped me off at Joe Louis Arena to see the Monsters of Rap, which was NWA and LL Cool J and De La Soul. And me and you went last year, or the year before. So I called my father at 41 years old. I called my father and said, "Remember that concert you dropped me off when I was 15? I just went to the same show in the suburbs, right?" And he's like, "Are you kidding me?" But again, like, we've been going downtown. I don't understand like with that mindset, because we've been going downtown since I've been as long as I was allowed to go.
Well, and that's where I was going to go is, we had that, what we called Suburbanite Kryptonite. The first time we booked an event, like an ITintheD event, or at the time Detroit Net event downtown, we had got a block of tickets from Hockeytown, or excuse me, from the Red Wings. We were going to go see the Red Wings and Vancouver Canucks like 2 weeks before the end of the season. So a lot of playoff implications, a lot of heat, a lot of great game to go to. Hockeytown Cafe gave us the top floor. And there was going to be our event, and life was good, and we were going to take the shuttle bus over to the game. So we post about this, and we're all excited. We're geeks. We're dark. We're like, oh my God, we got this opportunity lined up. Let's go. The first comment we got was from some woman who basically just said, I don't understand, like, why? Like, why, if you have a shuttle bus, pick us up in Royal Oak, maybe, because nobody wants their cars broken into, and nobody wanted. And I'm like, we're not taking you to a rave in the warehouse district. We're going to Hockeytown Cafe for
I got my car broken into more in Auburn Hills than I have in Detroit in my whole entire life. I'm crying out loud.
Yeah, no, like I said, it's the education, it's telling people. But, to answer your question, actually, traditionally, no, we haven't. Marketed to the locals, the low-hanging fruit, if you will. But actually, we're starting to do that now because we realize we have all these great ambassadors. And what's better than having a great ambassador promote and tout your marketing, your Detroit, really?
Well, that was when we went to Soundboard to go see William Shatner. The bartender that said, "What's up, man?" is the bartender from the Marriott at the what you call it, the bar, the Rensen bar that me and my wife hang out with after we go bar hop, and then we go nightcap at that bar, and he recognized me from that. It's like, you you staycation too much when the bar at the hotel in Detroit recognizes you and says, "Hey,"
Did he know your drink?
No, beer or whatever, beer and a shot of whiskey, whatever that.
So I guess, like I said, what are if you can, what are you working on now that would be good for folks to know about? I mean, like that's what I'm trying to what. So for our listening, because we don't have just a weirdly, and I still don't understand this. Like maybe 45% of our audience is Michigan. For those folks outside the area, what should they know about Detroit that would make them think about this as a destination?
So we have we just created this.
Other than us, of course.
That was my first. Go to ITintheD.
Dave is
number
a
one on
destination.
SoundCloud this week. So after you do that, we're taking all the. So first of all, let me go back. We have a hashtag, and it's hashtag DepictTheD. And so that hashtag.
That'll go horribly wrong.
It's your social media person. Right.
He's right here. But that was created before me. That's
for the love of God.
Yeah, well, just do it. Depict the D. And
make things go viral right there.
And that's the last time he was ever allowed to come on with us again.
Dan was escorted out.
No, of your job, not from here. Here, we love you.
Welcome Dan back to the podcast.
Dan has now moved into Studio 3.
That's right. We've got an event Thursday in case you need a new job. That's
The Dirty Show's this weekend.
Depict the D.
So the idea of Depict the D was to show Detroit through your lens. And I realize that as I'm saying this, it's probably not the best place to say this. But show Detroit through your lens. And so the idea is that we're taking all this user-generated content, these photos from Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter, and we put them on our page so that we have our ambassadors showing other people what Detroit looks like. So it's not, the credibility is kind of lost a little bit when it's your job to promote Detroit.
Right.
But if somebody else
because you assume the CVB is only showing the positive, is only showing the
right. We're going to show you the best of the best. But so we have all these followers on Depict the D, and they take all these pictures, and we're constantly highlighting one a day on Instagram. But then we can't necessarily just put one a day because there are so many,
right?
So many to choose from, and they're showcasing all the hot places in Corktown and Greektown and Eastern Market, in Rivertown, all these districts in Detroit, and they're showcasing all that. So we put them on our VisitDetroit.com website, VisitDetroit.com/your-photos. And so we're highlighting all these photos, and we're letting people, showcase Detroit. And so I think this would be a great spot for your
That's
father-in-law.
very cool.
Give this to your father-in-law. Let him see that this
he
is
won't
what
care.
I
wish. Yeah.
I know.
I mean, to give you an idea, I just did a quick search. There's nearly 30,000 photos under that hashtag. That's impressive.
And so that's less than 3 years. So 10,000 a year. And it's just like I said, it's booming, and people are there. These are all our ambassadors. They're people showing you exactly what Detroit looks like. In the daytime, during work time, at night.
And ironically, the best view is from Windsor. Go figure.
Yeah, right. It's an international border, and a lot of people don't even know that.
Right. That's why I have customers coming in from out of state. I go, bring your passport. We'll go. Because to see Detroit from the other side of the river, it's gorgeous. Not like, you don't have that look of the skyline over from here.
Right.
It's a nice shop from Belle Isle, but it's not the same.
No. I mean, if you can go across the Detroit River, take a look.
Sure.
It's absolutely beautiful.
Well, that's what I always tell people, and I get kind of shot for it, is like, hey, first place you should go, or at least have a drink, is either at Iridescence or at Coach.
Oh, yeah.
Just to take a look. You know what I mean? Just there's so much out there.
You know, bird's eye view of Detroit, and
totally
see what's happening. See the little people walking around. It's great.
Who's little people? That convention coming up, by the way.
It's usually in April.
Oh, all right.
Let me just tell you, the association names that I've heard are ridiculous, and unfortunately I can't think of any now.
No, but I'm sure there's
unbelievable.
There's a niche for everyone. That's the best part. Yes,
it's crazy, and we're getting some of them.
Yeah, I believe it was like 3 years ago. The Little Persons Association of America.
Yeah, where you wanted me to dress up as Godzilla.
I just wanted to paint you. They were at the Marriott downtown, and I wanted to paint Bob Green and just turn him loose as Godzilla walking through but it didn't happen because he wheezed.
I'm not gonna do that. Your friend's there, for crying out loud.
True.
Sorry, a friend.
His friend at the bar.
right, the bar.
All right, so where do we find more information about the Detroit Convention and Visitors Bureau?
VisitDetroit.com. You'll find everything you need to know. Online, as far as social media, most of our handles are Visit Detroit.
Very cool.
Now, wasn't there a scavenger? I know we missed the Applebee's scavenger hunt.
Well,
you mentioned there's another one coming up.
And it all comes full circle.
There's another one, yeah.
We wanted to win that one. We're so angry we didn't get that trophy. We wanted the trophy in this studio.
Well, and because we were at Fantasticon that weekend.
That why? Okay, I told we had some kind to go to.
Oh, okay, so that's what it was.
We had a booth. We were set up. And it was a thing. Bob had to sing Flash Gordon with a guy named Ming, and it was just a thing.
It was fun.
Sounds like a good time. Not as good as a scavenger hunt, but it sounds good.
No, I would have told. I wanted the trophy more than I wanted Fantastic Hunt.
He totally did. I had to remind him that we had a commitment.
Well, it looks like either way, we had you in Visit Detroit because either you're going to be part of the scavenger hunt, or you're going to be part of a convention. So,
absolutely.
I got you either way,
and we
I'm
talked
happy.
about the scavenger hunt for weeks. So yeah.
So what's the scavenger hunt going on now?
So there is we're developing another scavenger hunt, and so this one, not to be down on the Applebee's guys. We did a lot of work. We did a lot of good times.
We poked fun, but we like to build. Yeah.
I'm trying to build up the hype.
We had shirts made. We like them.
Yeah, no, I did. I saw them. They were good.
They thought we were corporate.
The riblets.
Oh, absolutely.
Who sent the guys from corporate? So Shell Eco Marathon is the Shell company, the oil company. Eco Marathon convention. They do a whole competition for university level and high school level students, where the idea is they build a car and they see how far that car can run on 1 gallon of gas. I always want to say 1 tank, but it's 1 gallon of gas.
Okay.
And so to promote that convention, which is most conventions are attendees only, but this one is actually going to be a public convention, much like the auto show.
Okay.
To promote that, we're going to do a scavenger hunt coming up in April, middle of April. And I don't have all the details nailed out, but it's going to involve some race car drivers, some scientists, and it's going to be more of a walking scavenger hunt throughout downtown Detroit.
Very cool.
So, we hope you'll come out, check it out, take a look. I mean, there's going to be some good prizes.
Wait, you have to walk?
Or ride a Segway.
We'll get you one of those pedal pubs.
No, I'm not pedaling.
No, the ITintheD. We'll have the ITintheD pedal pub running through downtown Detroit.
Can we rent one of those?
Yeah, we can.
I got the guy.
Can it be motorized on north to pedal?
You won't pedal.
We'll
Don't
let you
worry,
coast.
Bob.
Yeah.
You can sit in the back.
Sit in the back with my feet up.
Yeah.
I'm so in for that.
We'll make Nuri pedal. He looks athletic.
Done. Dan, thanks for hanging out with us. Appreciate
definitely.
Anytime you're more than welcome back. Anytime you got something going on, or if you just want to make Applebee's jokes, we're all here. So,
or if you ever come up with another hashtag, we're right there. Just run it by us first.
Yeah,
right.
I'll send you.
Pass the ITintheD filter. We're good. But hey, we'll be back segment 4 of the Royal Rumble. This is the ITintheD show, and we'll be right back.
IT in the D. Read, meet, listen. Networking Detroit. One beer at a time.
Hey guys, it's Time Hawk, Bruce Leroy from The Last Dragon. You're listening to the ITintheD show.
ITintheD.com.
This is a previously recorded episode of the ITintheD show.
Welcome back. Thank you for listening. This is the final and last segment. This is episode 131 of the ITintheD show. We are hanging out here in Podcast Detroit in beautiful Ferndale, Michigan. This is Bob the Sales Guy here with Dave the Geek, Dr. Hook, Jeremiah from Daily Detroit. Catch us online, ITintheD.com.
One day we'll tell that story on the air.
There's no way we're telling that story on the air. Don't forget, check out, like I said,
probably when he's not here and has made us mad.
Right. If you've been listening so far, you know that we're having our meetups. You know where to find all of our stuff to read. And if you're bored, you can read more stuff because we have more crap than we know what to do with in terms of blogs and stuff.
So I'm not going to lie. Like, just I every now and then I pull up the post thing. We have thousands of entries. Like, and a lot of them are the news updates, the weekly updates, and that kind of stuff. But we've got hundreds of "Don't Be That Guy" entries, dozens of the dating corollary, and how not to suck at, and all that stuff.
We think dating is no different than business. Like, it's almost just like in networking too. Like, you're not gonna, like, if you're dating and you're the desperate sad guy at the end of the bar, like, will you just please buy my stuff? It's no different than going, will you please go home and have sex with me? It's like,
or hey, nice to meet you. Want to meet my parents tomorrow night?
Oh yeah, what? Exactly. Like, you want to buy my shit? No. So we put this whole thing together, like how to suck less at, and we've written. If you want to start your own networking group, we told you how.
We did the blueprint. We put it out there. By all, follow it. Do just you won't be the pimple guys because
Right.
they suck and fail at everything about
And the
networking.
pigeons.
Yeah, seagulls.
Seagulls. They're the ones that fly in from out of state.
Crap all over everything,
and then they
fly out with
and they eat your Cheetos, and then they leave. or Funyuns or whatever it is that you're eating.
I'm not going to lie, I'm stunned. I specifically bought the multi-pack when I was doing the shopping for the studio. I bought the multi-pack with the Funyuns in them, Bob. And you
I
have
did not
touched
see
them.
Funyuns.
They're in there.
Someone took them. Dom took them.
No, they probably just haven't opened them yet.
Multi-pass?
Multi-pack.
Multi-pass came in Loot Crate this month. I was more excited for that than anything. My kids get Loot Crate. I get first crack. It opens up on the kitchen table. I get first crack, and then you guys get to fight over whatever left. I got multi-pass.
And then it's Thunderdome.
exactly.
Where's the Fifth Element fit into all this multi-pass talk?
No, it came in Loot Crate. That's what he took anyway. It was a Fifth Element multi-pass that came in Loot Crate. I would have wear it. I should have wore it tonight. But this is the Royal Rumble. So there's no rules. The rules are there are no rules. We left it off on making shit up. We left things off with Dan, and I said, we didn't talk specifics. We didn't say we ended the segment, and we got Dr. Hook here. But someone's coming in from Detroit from out of town. Where do you go? Right? Is it as easy? Other cities there's that place. You know what I mean? Like start here and go. But Detroit's a little different because there's not that center, right?
You need a little edge to pull, like a little corner to pull, and once you find that corner, like all the rest of the Detroit stuff will all show up for you.
Yeah. But my boss comes in from out of town. Where do I take him? Right? Those questions have to come up 7,300 times a day. In terms of not my boss coming in, but hey, I'm coming in Detroit. I'm taking someone downtown. Where do I go? What?
It depends on your person, but there's always the old world charm, the old Detroit charm. So you might want to take them to you go to Cliff Bell's, you go to Ye Olde Tap Room, Baker's Keyboard Lounge. Those are some great iconic places. You go to you want some of the best Italian, you go to Roma Cafe, right? There's
Emily's happy.
Exactly.
You're welcome.
She does their social media. So.
But you look at Jared and I were talking. We were at the Dakota Inn.
Yeah.
How many people don't know that exists?
And that place is an awesome place.
You can run into Dan Gilbert there.
Who ran into Dale Gilbert there?
We did.
And who bought him scotch and he doesn't even drink?
He doesn't even drink.
Boo.
Can't trust a man that doesn't drink.
No, but you look at between that and Jacoby's.
Jacoby's is another great one.
Yeah.
Old Shillelagh.
So I'm from Cincinnati, right? So I'm out of actually our Cincinnati office for Nuspire. But so where do I go to get the best lake, fish or perch or something like that?
Huron. The newest place for that is the Huron Room.
Yeah, over in Mexican Town.
Yep, really great.
Yep.
Really great. And next to it is our vodka, so that you've got a drink spot and a food spot right next to each other. It's great.
Here's where I don't want to be that guy, but I'm gonna. The Our vodka isn't really our vodka. It's
But
all
the
made
people-
elsewhere, and then they bring it in and they put it in the cool bottle.
Well, there is a still in there that they do. It's the recipe elsewhere. They do make it there, but it's the recipe.
Oh, they've changed. Okay, so they are making.
Yeah, I have pictures of the still.
So
I have pictures of the still in
that's
operation.
changed. Okay,
right. And the other thing is that it's like what a lot of people don't realize about franchises and things like that. In that kind of model, it is in a way locally owned, right? Because although they have the general thing, it's owned locally by these women who are doing a lot of cool stuff in the community. So it's you have to have a mix of everything. In a functioning city has your mix of chains, franchises, local, the whole thing, because that's what it takes to that ecosystem is to make it a real city.
See, the problem with the perch market in Detroit is everyone that grew up around here grew up with 30 pounds of perch in their freezer, right?
I ate perch all weekend. I ate perch literally all weekend. I love perch, but we had a fish fry. We had a fish fry up north, and we had perch. I had perch tacos. I had perch soup. I had
perch gumbo.
Perch fricassee, perch rodeo, perch po' boy,
perch. Let me know, and I will bring you some perch.
Fried perch.
But yes, in Metro Detroit, I don't think
Forest Detroit gumbo.
Pan fried, deep fried,
perch.
shrimp stew,
and that's all the ways you can make perch.
But see, that's the thing.
Or just go to the Huron Room.
I never could order perch in a restaurant here. Walleye, I would try, but it's not.
Well, so that's like, but it's okay. I'm a New England kid. I grew up where lobster was a quarter a pound.
I'll throw an old school. I just have an old school one to try. Scotty Simpson's Fish and Chips over there near Brightmoor. Scotty Simpson's.
Right.
Scotty Simpson's. I can't even say it. Scotty Simpson.
Scotty Simpson. Scotty Simpson's Fish and Chips.
Yes, it's amazing. It's been there forever, and nothing's changed. And they've got this really cool jukebox from way back in the day that like barely.
So it's not
works.
internet connected.
No internet. No,
we don't go anywhere without internet connected jukebox.
You can't use your app.
Yeah, no, because then we can take it over and piss all the locals off.
You have fun with the internet connected jukebox just further.
Oh yeah,
but like you went on Italian, you went on like the old jazz bars, which are phenomenal, right?
Yeah.
I love taking people to those places. But like pizza, like the original Buddies. Like if you again, you don't know what people
Detroit
forget
Square.
it exists.
Oh yeah, people don't know about they think pizza is all Chicago, but you come over.
That's a quiche. That's not a pizza.
yeah.
That's a quiche.
The Chicago pizza's disgusting.
Is it the whole real men don't eat quiche?
Totally.
You try something, from Buddies or Cloverleaf or one of those guys.
Louis is one of my favorites in Hazel Park.
Man, you won't go back. You'll be having that, at least once a week.
See, I'll take Chicago. It's all about the Italian beef. Detroit, it's all about the pizza. And I argue every time I go to Chicago and see customers, I go, "You got the pizza here. It's not. It's not.
It's not that. You got to go to Detroit."
Then they cut the round pizza like a grid. It's the stupidest thing. Like straight. Like the
you get the little.
Oh yeah,
you get the little tiny corner piece.
Yeah.
It's all crust.
Yeah.
No touching.
Yeah.
Use that like the little football game, like where you
Exactly. Yeah, you pull it off, and that's the table game.
Right.
That's
Amateurs. That's amateurs. That's what they are.
So now we're moving on burgers. Like you got to go. Like I said, I took my wife to Telway for breakfast for Valentine's Day. Because the good romantic husband I am. Like Telway to me is the quintessential.
You are. You are just.
You're the king of romance,
right? But like if you want,
struck you well,
right? I bought her fifth row Duran Duran tickets. I'll eat wherever the hell I want.
What's the Rio song?
But I honestly, if you tell me salad burger, like the best burger downtown, I have no idea what the answer is. I have nothing.
Mercury Burger, Mercury Bar.
See, isn't that cliche though?
I don't know.
I always get the
go there. You won't see anything cliche.
No, you know what I mean? Because it's like kind of like go to Slows. It's like
okay.
Yeah, but
Mercury's a good food. No, I never had a bad meal at Mercury.
You have to ignore the hipster love for Mercury to simply appreciate Mercury for what it is. Because those burgers, the fries, like all the stuff they do, dude, we've been there a bunch. It's proper.
I like their food. No, it's the hipster love that pisses me off.
You know what I think my favorite burger is, but it's way outside of downtown. It's called the Big Baby, and it's at the Food Exchange in Harper and Van Dyke. And it's this like little hole in the wall. You would never believe it. It comes in this foil wrapper. It has like.
I'm trying to figure out where the hell Harper and Van Dyke meet.
it's just off of 94.
Because they both angle.
But at 94,
okay,
where there's that weird little intersection there.
Right.
It used to be like it was Slovak for a while, Polish area.
Gotcha.
But it's so good, but it's so bad for you. But it's so good.
Is
it's
that
like
Geneva Burger where it was on like Caju in 94?
Well, that was another option.
Yeah, because you sneak like onions for 3 days. It was amazing.
Oh, it was great because this Big Baby burger has not only the burger, but the cheese, the onions, the Reuben meat, like all of it wrapped up into this like silver foil.
Sure.
Yeah, corned beef. That's it. And it's all like
Reuben
wrapped.
meat.
It's my Reuben meat.
Hashtag Reuben meat.
Depict the D.
That's just it. I'll depict the D.
Right.
But it's so good. Then my second pick would be the Marcus Hamburger, which is over on McNichols by the railroad tracks there. It's amazing. It's like a steak burger and a hot dog bun.
Joey's Meat Cutters. It just hit me like a brick.
That place is amazing.
Son of a bitch.
Joey's is great.
Yeah. That was where you can actually smell the cow poop when you're walking in. You're that close to you're that close. It's an Eastern market. If you've never been there, it just hit me because I haven't been there in 10 years, but that's.
I was just there like a couple months ago. Listen, Joey Meat Cutters will never steer you wrong.
But they get a shipment every morning.
Yeah, it's great.
Oh my God! They'll give you a half.
And the
pound.
great thing is that's an Eastern market. So if you're a little less adventurous, you can start at Joey's and then start going out to all the other different kinds of places out there.
Oh, that's a quick. I got to go to Joey's now that we're talking
Let's
about
do
this.
it.
Oh, my God. I'm so in. This week,
like right now?
Right now.
And they might be open.
We're talking about now.
There's all kinds. Town Tavern, downtown Detroit. You can go to Red Coat in Royal Oak. You can go to.
I miss the old
Miller's
Irish
in
bar.
Dearborn.
What's the whiskey bar that's now
Nancy
open?
Whiskey?
No, the whiskey
I was gonna
place,
say
McGee's. That used to be an Irish bar that had the best burger around, and they don't. And that's like, to me, that's the frustrating part of Thomas McGee's is that I know there's a kitchen in there because I used to come here for lunch every day when I worked at GM. Open the damn kitchen.
There's just so many, and even when we talk about the food in Detroit, people just get heated because there's this place, there's that place. People really, talking about this is great. When you're talking about
there's only one place. There's only one place for shawarma. Let's just drop that one right now.
which won't be where it has been forever.
I don't care.
But there's going to be more of them.
There's going to be more. Yeah,
I know. But
I'll go wherever
it was
they
so
are.
convenient there.
But, so not for
Find my
shawarma.
way to that place in any condition. I just want everyone to know.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's like
Best shawarma
that's like a
ever.
safety
It is.
beacon in the night. Forget Project Lighthouse. It's like Bucharest shawarma.
It's always open. Like, it's always open.
It's a
And there's
godsend.
32 people working in a 10 by 10 kitchen.
It's great.
It's amazing.
I brought a guy. He's Romanian, and he never tried it out.
Well, the owner's Romanian, right?
Yeah. So, but it's not the owner, no relation. I brought a guy, just separate guy, and so he tried it out.
Unrelated people from Romania.
Yeah,
Go figure.
Crazy. You are a gypsy.
Hard to believe. I don't know.
A Romanian and a
like a
Romanian
telephone
going to a bar.
pole.
He loved it so much. When we left, he bought one to go for his wife. That's how much he loves Bucharest.
So I'll throw one out that's bound to start arguments because I'm in that kind of mood right now. Best dive bar.
Ooh.
I already got it. Okay. And I haven't
What's
been
your
very
choice?
many. So I made the mistake of having to figure out that to get a passport for your 2-year-old, everybody needs to be in person. And you shouldn't do it 24 hours before you leave on an international flight.
No, you need more prep time than that.
And Detroit does.
I don't need a visa. They take my American Express.
Exactly. So I did learn that Detroit has one of the few passport bureaus.
The expedited stations, yep.
Yeah. And so that may be helpful to anybody that's thinking about visiting town. But not too far away from the passport bureau, down the road, maybe a block and a half on the right, is like the oldest bar it looks like that's ever been around. It might have been like even an old firehouse or something. Like it was in an old building, and it's right in the middle of a block. Of course, the name for sake.
The Anchor?
Talk about Anchor Bar.
Anchor Bar.
There you go.
Yep.
Anchor Bar.
That is a journalist and hockey fan hangout. Like, if you wanted to overhear what was going on with like the Kwame stuff, like the Anchor Bar is the place where all the ink-stained wretches hang out. It's a really cool place.
Yeah.
Really cool place.
Yeah.
So all the people looking for new jobs these days.
I used to work at.
Ow! I heard from my friends.
I used to work at what was known as the quintessential dive bar in Detroit,
Post.
which was the Post. That's where you wrote on the walls and you'd peed in a trough, and there was no doors on the men
Or on the
bathroom
bar,
or on the
whatever.
bar, and it was right across from Joe. So like a couple hockey guys would be bartending after a game, and oh, by the way, there's Steve Yzerman, and the Kid Rock just showed up with Chris Chelios, and you'd play really bad old 80s and 70s music, and it was the best. It was the best time ever. Like,
Go, sorry.
No, that was it.
No, I got my vote. Tom's Tavern. Tom's Tavern over on Wyoming. It's a shack. It's been rebuilt like 40 times because once a year.
Bar? Where the bar is like literally crooked.
Yeah, the bar is crooked.
They're not swindling, but they're
the floor is crooked. It's got like masonry board outsides because it's been hit by cars so many times. They've like raided the booze inside, and like Ron is hilarious, and he's like, "Come out to my patio. It's brick," and there's like 5 bricks and like some grass, and you just sit out there, and he's like,
"Well."
It's great.
That's where Ming and Mike from the Comic Book Men, when they were here, they went and found it.
Yeah.
They went on like a Yelp search of like top dive bars, and they ended up there. and they fell in love with the place.
Which
it's amazing.
I guess just for the record, we did get the warning note. Ming shot us a note that they're coming back from Motor City Comic Con.
All right.
And the subject line was "Get your livers ready." So there's going to be a downtown dive bar tour.
Let's
that
do
happens
this.
Motor City Comic Con weekend.
Let's do this. I'm in. Let's
I have
make
some
this go.
operational threat intelligence to pass on to you about that. It may be a disaster.
It'll absolutely be a disaster. No. Sunday at Motor City Comic Con will be a disaster.
It'll be fine for you. I want to be the one going.
Yeah, true. That's one of the many reasons why he hates me is that I'm good the day after. Like I'm up and ready to go and life's good. He's
Committing
the Walking
suicide.
Dead.
Me too.
Nobody likes that guy, Dave.
I accept it. I move on. You know what? I like to weigh in.
2A is a great choice. They're hospitable. They're friendly. It's got tons of history.
I was going to say the history alone is a great reason to go there.
1876, I think. It used to be a house of a colonel, and it was a way station and like an actual inn.
With a jail cell in the basement.
Yep. And there are 2 ways out of every room.
In a neighborhood across the street
Mount
from
Elliott.
a biker hangout that burned down. That's all I remember.
Mount
But not
Elliott.
Nancy Whiskey's ish area.
No. It's
That's
definitely
actually what I was going to say.
It's
Nancy
just
Whiskey
north of Hamtramck.
is the next one.
Okay.
It's a great spot. If you haven't gone, let's go. It's absolutely great.
And like with the first time I went to Nancy Whiskey's,
You have to buzz in. Like there's a video camera and you have to buzz in when you
Proper.
Oh, absolutely.
Proper.
Very proper.
But even like Nancy's, it's like it's a house in the middle of a neighborhood. Cool. I'm in.
Well, and they have every license known to mankind that's available in the state of Michigan. They don't use them.
Yeah.
But they just hold on to them and they're all on the wall. That's part of the history that it's fun to hear. Just why they got it and why they've still, even though it hasn't been active since 1940, here's why we're still holding on to this license.
Totally.
License like for what?
Well, so
For-
it used to be
cabaret license. They've got this license.
Actually, and they used to be a hotel because that would be the place people would stay when they were taking their horse and buggy to Eastern Market.
Okay.
They would stay at the 2A Inn as the middle point on their way to Eastern Market when they were like doing the horse-drawn carriage with their produce. That's how old this thing is. It's great.
Then the horse would eat all the lettuce and it was ruined. And
another bar in a house I think is great, or it's kind of a house, is the Stone House.
Yes.
That place is just south of 8 Mile.
We're generally opposed to things named Stonehouse. But
where the bartender open carries and kicks you out when you play Two Left Crew on the jukebox. Wait, what?
Sadly,
have no working knowledge of that at all.
Sadly, I believe he has passed on. I believe they have new ownership.
Maybe it's safe for us to come back.
The guy's like 40.
I believe cancer.
Wow.
So that's what I had heard that there was.
Laughably.
Because last time I was in there was
he
all
died
new
of cancer.
bartenders.
Laughably.
No, but so laughably, it was Bob, me, Neil, and who? Was it Tom that came with us?
Tom
Yeah.
came with us.
And so the four of us go to Stonehouse, and we're in jukebox.
Yeah.
We take over the jukebox. And, we order a couple rounds of drinks and life's good. And so, it was 10 o'clock at night?
No, it was midnight. It was like midnight proper.
But still, relatively early, where the bartender comes around from behind the bar and stands at the end of our table and goes, "All right, it's closing time. Y'all got to get out of here," to just us. Like everyone else in the bar was just fine. But we had to go.
So I get up.
That's a badge of honor.
No, so I get up and I go outside, and of course the speaker's outside from the jukebox, blaring Two Live Crew out in the street. And I'm watching, and I go, "Has no one else got up?" And I go, "I think they just kicked us out." In the nicest way I've ever seen. Like, you didn't say, "You boys need to leave." There's like bars closing.
I'm not even mad. That's amazing.
They definitely still have their attitude for sure, but I think that there were like new bartenders, new things going on the last time I was there, and it was kind of like stunning at first. I was like, wait a second, it's not as gruff as I remember
like
it.
4 beers to choose from and like 8 bottles of liquor. It's not like,
The key is, though, there's a couple of nights I've been able to party up on the porch upstairs, and that's just the best. And just watch everybody go in and out.
We were not made aware of the porch.
No, we weren't invited either. The Glock 40 on his hip kind of deterred me from asking where the porch was upstairs.
A little bit. So let's see, the one that probably will matter a good bit to our listeners. So best place to meet a date for drinks.
Ooh. I would say one of the hottest places now is Standby.
Me.
It is in... It's actually in the alley, that new belt alley behind the garage downtown.
Okay.
The Z Garage. And they had a really hilarious Valentine's party where you could take the love letters from your ex and they would freeze them and then you could shatter them, which was
like
really
with
cool.
liquid nitrogen?
Yeah.
Anything with liquid nitrogen.
Oh, how did I not know this?
Well, you read my site. You should know these things.
Not all of them.
I scan. It's like Bob reading anything I write. I scan.
I scan.
He writes encyclopedias. I need Twitter. Headlines.
But that's a great place. I would also say Wright and Company is a great place downtown. Wright and Company looks like you're in the middle of Chicago.
Is that the one that's up on the second floor?
Yeah.
See, is it too cliche to say I like Sugar House? I really do.
Sugar House is great.
But it's not Sugar House anymore.
Stop.
Wait, what?
It's Bill Murray.
No, that's over. They did that for a phase. That was a phase.
It's done now?
I think it was a phase. Yeah.
I don't think that was forever. It wasn't forever.
Well, now
far
that
as I heard,
Bill Murray has thrown people's cell phones off roofs, apparently maybe that's not cool anymore. Because that happened yesterday.
Whoa.
Can you get 10% off if you ordered in Carl Spackler's voice? Because if so, I'm so in.
They were talking about, I heard, throwing a Bill Murray party to try to get him over. And then, any kind of character that Bill Murray has played, you're welcome to dress up as. But that was,
So I'll add two more choices. 2 James is great. It's got a cool circular
2 James
bar.
is great.
Yeah.
I really like that. Another one
bar.
is Detroit City Distillery. They're doing a lot of creative stuff, and I like DCD because it's a little less It's craft cocktails without as much craft cocktailiness. If that makes any sense.
Yeah, it's the craft cocktail without the attitude.
Right. There's still going to be a Swizzler.
I'm not a mixologist. I'm a freaking bartender. That's what matters.
They have mixologists at Red Robin. Get over yourself.
No, dude, no, seriously. Because if I've said this once, I was a bartender for a while. If you are a mixologist, you suck as a bartender because you are focusing solely on the ability to mix a drink, which is like 10% of what a bartender does. It's all about focusing on the customers, being able to read people, being able to handle a crowd, that kind of stuff. That's what a bartender does. A mixologist knows which slice of the cucumber wafted over your gin and tonic gives it an insouciance that you should be able to tell from.
And it takes 10 minutes to get a drink.
Yeah, exactly.
That's why they do it.
Most good cocktails should be able to be done with 3 ingredients. That's it.
Yeah. It's always
whiskey,
a 3-2-1 ratio.
Or whiskey.
Always a 3-2-1
or
ratio.
Jägermeister. But hey, we're going to wrap things up, I think.
We are. So let's go once around the room.
So, Dr. Hook, where do we find your stuff at?
DailyDetroit.com.
DailyDetroit.com. Dan, Visitors Bureau, VisitDetroit.com.
Visit Detroit, and we also got the blog, which is blog.visitdetroit.com.
Cool.
And then the Nuspire team, we got Nuspire, NUSPIRE.com.
You got it.
The security managed gurus, like I said, you guys are rock stars.
Are you guys going back to PenguinCon this year?
I think so.
Because we're going to have a much bigger presence this year. We're going to have to play.
We'll get the party suite this year.
Awesome. Great.
Now that we know. But hey, this has been episode 131 of the ITintheD show. Appreciate you hanging out. We look forward to seeing you this Thursday at the Hellman Corner.
Yeah.
And don't forget to drink up your drinks, get your phone numbers. You don't got to go home. You just got to get the hell out of here. See you next week. Beat it.
See it.
The emergency destruct system is now activated.
Conan, what is best in life? To crush your enemies, see them driven before you, and to hear the lamentation of your women.
Long live Flash! You've saved your life. Have a nice day.
I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass. And I'm all out of bubblegum.
Nice shooting, son. What's your name? Murphy.
Make the run. The run.
Game over, man. It's game over.
It's over, Johnny. It's over. Nothing is over. Nothing. You just don't turn it off.
I can't say no, and I don't really want to, so.
Well, especially with the back doors open.
Yo! Hold up! Time out! Time out! Y'all take a chill. You need to cool that shit out. And that's the double truth. Rude.
Bob loves it in the can.
I hope this was as much fun for you as it was for me.
That's why I like it in the can.
Joe, own the truth.
Fear me.
My job is to make sure this program is morally upright and cultural and wholesome.
Shut up, Mimsy! Shut up, Mimsy! Shut up, Mimsy!
Why would Buick put their cars next to the Bentleys? Why? That's not marketing.
The alphabet.
It's brilliant.
Yeah, I can't take that position.
That analogy sucks because it's right.
Because you're getting your 8-track tuned up.
Are we at a break yet? Yeah, so now I'm just doing stupid stuff to make me laugh.
Venture capital is not the end game.
When are we going to talk about me?
Jane, you ignorant slut.
It's my show. I can say what I want.
Yeah. Kiss my ass, go home, unplug, get off the goddamn internet. You are everything that is wrong with the internet right now.
You're so white right now.
I'm the whitest guy in the room. Just explain it to me.
I love this city. I was banging on the wang.
Really? Should we talk about the tag team? Should I keep going or should I stop?
Can I just say, it's been great being on a show that talks about Mickey Rooney dying for 20 seconds and then poop for 10 minutes.
This is a previously recorded episode of the IT and the D Show.